I think city always played a major role in preparing teachers for public schools. We had a large number of students going into teaching. I think we're better than almost any of the other CUNY schools in minority students going into teaching. Those were things I valued. Because we had done the work on developing bilingual ed and had good bilingual ed programs, obviously it was a hope that it would really be strong. And I think 93 to 95, we had very good faculty there. So other hopes though, one of the best things that happened to me was that within 2 years of me coming to the college, for some reason, Lillian Weber took me under her wing, so to speak, and involved me more and more with the workshop center. And I came more and more convinced that the kinds of things that she was doing was really what had to be done, and that her philosophy was one which clearly fit in with very much with what I thought needed to be done. And so my hopes were always for strengthening the work of the workshop center and for strengthening child-centered education.
At the time, and see, we're talking 40 years ago? Is that 19? At the time, I think we were very instrumental in creating discomfort and letting things be as they were. Especially the training programs, the workshops, I don't know all of the curriculum issues that we had an impact on, but we made it uncomfortable. That simply because the kids in the Bronx came from poor families, that they couldn't be expected to do as well as others. And that because the Bronx was not where all of the banks were, didn't mean that it wasn't a place that people ought to give a lot of attention to in terms of their educational needs. It was a very, very challenging time because you weren't just talking about skills. I mean, the faculty at City College were skilled and knowledgeable people, but you were talking about will and resistance. Am I willing to put myself up against this way things are? And you know, it is very challenging to people to drift into the unknown and leave my comfort zone. And this is one of the things that I made them so uncomfortable, because I was constantly saying, if it's now what you're doing and you aren't getting the outcomes you want, don't you think you should be thinking about doing something different? Well, my philosophy was, if I was blessed to be at the forefront of something, I should use my knowledge, my skills, my energy, etc., to do the very best I could, given my knowledge of what the issues were, and for the betterment of people. And that's, I really worked at that. That was a very, 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 very important thing for me.
This was 1977. So there were a lot of unemployed engineers, and we did a quick program during the summer to retool these engineers who all probably very well prepared in math and science to teach, and that was very successful. Forward fast into the 90s, and or was it maybe early 90s, again, there was a shortage of math and science teachers. And Harold Levy, who unfortunately passed away recently, was the chancellor of the public school system at the time. And he called me and we noodled together and we came up with an idea called the Teaching Fellows. And the Teaching Fellows was a program where you took people who had the academic preparation, whether it's physics, chemistry, math, whatever, and gave them the quick push during the summer in education, pedagogical training, and they were guaranteed a position in the fall as a teacher. And that program still, I think it was running until the pandemic hit. It was clear that we were the creators of it. And it showed up at the end when we had to do the NCATE accreditation project, and we came out with perfect evaluation that first year. And not everybody in New York had the same good fortune.
Well, I mean, because we work so closely with the DOE, we have helped prepare teachers for a lot of their most high needs areas. I mean, even our elementary school teachers, even though elementary school teachers are not, it's not a high needs area, it is in the Bronx. And a lot of the teachers we prepare go to work in the Bronx, in the high needs districts in the Bronx. But with all of the Spanish teachers that we have been turning out through the Teaching Fellows program, all the bilingual program, all the bilingual teachers that we have been, educating, all of the special ed programs that we have. And, we have districts come to us. Can you please provide a certain number of courses for our teachers so that they're certified in special ed at the elementary level, but we really need them at the high school level. So can you provide some courses? And then and even you're talking about public schools, but even New York State asked us to help them provide courses for non-public school teachers in the New York City area. So I think that we have, provided many teachers in critical areas for the DOE. But also, we have a very progressive faculty that really, truly believes in culturally relevant education. And so we work really hard to educate teachers in these progressive practices.
The influence of our graduates over a 10-year period was in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was, it wasn't tough math to do. If you have 100 graduates, and we had far more than that, and they each teach 25 kids, that's 2,500 kids a year. And in fact, we had something more like 400, and most of them weren't teaching 25 years, and we had this long history. That is not incidental, I mean, in the life of a city. And so I think it's an important piece. I think it's important to claim your history, even as you are pointed towards the future. And that has always been the story at City College. I mean, there's been celebration of the past, and rightly so. But I have to say, it wasn't a place that I found to be steeped or mired in, the good old days. It was about, what do we need to do now? And I think in that 100 years, we have always served, the neediest kids in the city. And that's a proud thing.